Alright, Chapter 2, Visualizing 3D Models. Autodesk AutoCAD 2013 Practical 3D Drafting Design. Alright, Chapter 2, Visualizing 3D Models. A fundamental aspect of 3D visualization includes not only zooming, panning, and orbiting, but also return specific visualization. Visualize the models as the wireframe shaped other visual styles. Walk inside of the model, divide with the drive and drawing area into viewports. The topics covered in this chapter allows however, it's follows view 3D model with a different angle that have saved restore particular view, simulate cameras, shade models, apply visual styles, navigate through 3D model, and divide the drawing area into viewports. Zooming and panning and orbiting are currently understand with a 3D model. We need to view with the different angles, view with a closer with the inside, and so on, creating and selecting objects, setting them with the correct ambiguous view with the fundamental but non-scale. We are not scaling or rotating the model, just viewing it from a different perspective. Zooming or panning are fundamental tools of AutoCAD and 3D modeling. Nowadays, we use the wheel mouse for the other advantage for the input devices for the scroll functionality. The wheel mouse, we can zoom in, zoom out, rotating the wheels forward. We zoom in and out, in objects and closer. With the rotating the wheel backward, we zoom out, and we see more than are seen. Zoom extends by double-clicking the wheel. Quickly, we see the drawing extent that is all the areas occupied with the object model going into the extended, including those areas that are visible with the layers turned off. The quite useful in the 3D enlarged model of the often orbiting objects are the most may disappear with the following drawing area. Panning, holding down the wheel and dragging with the mouse, we slide the view for the maintaining the same view factor and zoom factor. Zooming panel can be the transparent middle command. Zooming in and out with the wheel mouse is done by increments with a continuous way, with sometimes not accessible with a small zoom. Change of the zoom factor variable. The control of the increments by default is set at 60%. That is, each wheel rotation increase the decrease of the zoom factor by that value. Variable is saved in the registry. Another way the continuous change of the zoom factor is to go to zoom command alias Z in the command line. The real type option entered in the command zoom. Press the enter key to accept the default option. Click and hold the mouse and drag the up and down zoom in and out. Orbiting the model. To view the model with the different angles, we must orbit the around it. Model doesn't change, or only our angle and vision changes. We may use the automatic orbit with the command presented next. Automatic orbit, the easiest, most useful tool. Orbit the model with the automatic orbit with a wheel with a mouth. Even with the middle of the command, we hold down the shift key and we simultaneously hold the wheel too. The courage for changes through small ellipses and with the drag the mouse to orbit around the model. Z-axis is always vertical, and it is always if flying around the model, also shown following a screenshot. Note, when orbiting, only objects have been selected before the display. This may be particularly useful with checking the accuracy when we end orbiting and all the objects reappear. 3D Orbit Command. 3D Orbit Command, or 3DO, also known as Constrained Orbit, allows you to orbiting by clicking and holding down the mouse. The Z-axis allows vertical, and if we proceed to name the alias by single quotation mark 3DO, or if we access the icon 3D navigating toolbar, or by going to Views Navigate panel with a ribbon command, you can be the transparent middle another far command another command in the middle of another command. Without the wheel mouse, the command to be used, the shortcut menu command, mouse right click, we give it a direct access to several other commands, the option, including additional command, orbiting, zoom pan, zoom options, changing between parallel perspective views, predefined views, visual styles. Some of the command functions presented next. The enable orbit auto target option must be highlighted also to keep the center orbiting on the objects and not on the center of the drawing area. So when you go to the enable orbit target command, you can go. It has current mode, constrained orbit, and then they would go to the other navigation modes: constrained orbit, free orbit, continuously able to adjust the distance, swivel, walk, fly, and zoom plan. And then you'd have animation settings and zoom extent and previous parallel perspective, reset views, preset views, named views, visual styles, and visual aids. And that's in the enable auto target option. Note also that the command previously selected objects isolated with the orbiting and ending with the command restore all the object zoom extent option. Isolated objects drawing area allowing with a better accuracy. Check. Other orbiting commands. The other commands that can be applied with the orbiting model that have some feature of the 3D free orbit or 3D F orbit or free orbit. 3D free orbit. That may be useful. 3D F orbit or a free orbit is similar with the 3D orbit command, but allows the free orbit around with the model, but it isn't maintained with the Z-axis in the vertical direction. So the green circle with the other and the command behavior depends on the area where we drag. The command can be useful with the design, mechanical, other areas of the vertically isn't a key issue. Alright, 3DC orbit, or continuous orbit. This allows the continuous perpetual orbit with the drag with the cursor with the wire with the direction selected object will visually rotate with either direction. With the fastest and slow drag will affect the orbit. Speed with the exit key command. Exit key ends of the command. Exercise 2.1. Let's practice visualization tool 3D model included with the accompanying file with the shown with the following steps. Open file with A3D _02 001 from the model shown with the previous image later created. Press Shift key and mouse wheel with the orbit around with the model until you feel comfortable. Without entering with any command, select the left wall, which is separated from the other walls. Press the Shift key, mouse wheel, and orbit. The only wall is being seen as in was dragging object reappear. Press the Escape key to cancel selection. Without entering any command, select the balcony. 3DO or 3D enter for the 3D orbit command, right click on the mouse and choose the zoom extensor shown with the following screenshot of the balcony is zoomed in to fit the drawing area. Alright, and then show the menu zoom extends. Click on the mouse orbit of the balcony from all sides with the right click mouse to check for the option other navigation mode. Free orbit, click on the mouse for the orbit, noticing when the Z axis is no longer vertical. Again, the right click of the mouse, choose the other option, other navigation mode, constraint orbit, draw a little bit of the Z-axis comes immediately back to the vertical direction. Press the escape key with the end of the command. All other objects should reappear, but the visualization doesn't change. 12. Quit the drawing without saving. Alright, views and cameras. If we change with the view with the direction, how can you come back with the plan view with the C with the model with another orthographic view? How do you save with the view with the if we can restore it to another time of these operations created with the camera and with the presenting with the next predefined views? Predefined AutoCAD have 6 orthographic grooves, top, bottom, front, back, and left and right, and with 4 isometric grooves, southwest, isometric, southeast, isometric, northeast, isometric, northwest, isometric. There are several ways to access them, some may activate another coordinate system. The View Cube. The View Cube available since the version 2009 with the navigation tool. Play with the default with the viewport with the top right corner with the activate particularly transparent with the tool. Can click on the face of the activate the respective the orthographic view. For the instance, we come to the plan over the when we want to come to the plane with the top view, we'll click on the top face. We can also drag with the mouse over the view cube to orbit the drawing. Click the vertex to achieve the isometric and click the edge of the view with the model with the edge. And show the orbit cube, the view cube property for the control of the shortcut menu. Right click over the cube and or the navigation NAVV cube command. The small button below allows you to retrieve the World Coordinate System or WCS. Use the coordinate system view of the cube, but clicking on the face neither activate the corresponding coordinate system nor process the zoom extent with the option in the model. Ribbon and tool access bar. With the access predefined orthographic isometric can be found with the ribbon going home to the view tab, clicking on the second droplet list. We can, if we use the workspace space based on the tool, the view toolbars contain with the predefined views. So you see now you have the views in the view toolbar. Zoom zoom command extends option. Press on the screen when using the tool, choosing the orthographic view. AutoCAD activate the corresponding orthographic coordinating system. So the X and Y plane becomes a parallel to the view, but the behavior that may be undesirable can be turned off by assigning the value 0 to the USC ortho, Unified Coordinate System ortho variable. The variable is saved in the registry and does not depend on the drawing. The Viewport Controls. Since 2012, the top left corner of the viewport of the default, there are three controls. The second one applied with the activation predefined. Save the view with the viewport control with the presented later. Alright, the plan command. This command directly activates the top view of the current coordinating system default save of the coordinating system work coordinating system process with the zoom extent option in the model. Your Viewpoint and Ddv Point commands. The two more commands are available to change view direction. Viewpoint commands are alias negative VP defined with the viewing direction vector for the connect with the points of the origin. This command just asks for the point for the instance locating of the origin at 001. 0x and y, 0 and 1z indicates that we are on the z axis. It means the top view. The zoom command extends option always process so x is 0, y is 0, and z is 2. We give exactly the same result. Y1, x1, y1, z1 means that you have the same distance with the positive axis northeast isometric. This command with the advantage of replicating a precise non-orthographic view. The other options are less important. The Ddv point, the command also alias VP on the command line shows the dialog box the view of the direction defined in two angles. First on the plane with the axis and then the second on the XY plane. We can either enter these values or just pick them on the image. Note, changing with the view direction, activating the orthographic view of the plane with the viewpoint generates small animation. Some of the goes on using zoom command extends option with the window option. Some of the other options, the VT option command allows you to eliminate this animation on the dialog box because we uncheck the enable animation pan zoom enable animation with the view rotates option. Alright, creating views. View command alias V creates on the command line, manages save views in one of the ribbon. We can also access the command on the view panel inside the view tab. The manager of the view manager box, 3 areas. Views. Their areas on the left show the available views that are divided. Model views, layout views, preset views. Preset views include predefined orthographic isometric views. After selecting a view, its properties are shown in the central area. And then the view button command shows the central area displayed with the property selected view on the left. The buttons on the right allow for the activating a view, creating a new view, updating layers associated with the viewing, editing boundaries, and deleting a view. Alright, now you're in View Manager. To create a view, click on the new option. The new view shot properties is displayed with the most important elements are view name, the name of the identified with the view category. If there are too many views, they can be grouped into categories. For instance, exterior, interior views. Maintain default category none. View type, we can choose a still view, cinematic view, or recorded. Walk view, recorded walk view. Normally we want to save the still view. View properties. There are 3 areas of the tab of the boundary area specified with the save view exactly with the current display with maybe clicking on the button defined with a new window. The settings are always saving the layer of the view coordinate system live section, if any, with a visualized style with the area are saved. We can also associate configuration background to the view. Association layers presented with the save view is very useful. By restoring a view, we can get the same layer properties such as the frozen unthawed layers when view is created with the updated layers button allows the assign for the current layers properties of the selected view. The edit boundaries button allows you to zoom in, zoom out with the selected view with the display with expanding and drawing areas with the current view having the window background. Alright, the perspective view and the real world with the perspective projection object farthest look smaller and parallel lines edge of the look current. When working 3D models, it's easy to work in parallel projection. For getting realistic final results, we must turn the perspective on. To change the parallel view with the perspective view, we can use the perspective variable 1 to activate the perspective where or 0 to activate the parallel view. Alright, we can also use the parallel and perspective options on the shortcut menu over the view cube and the second view control. Cameras. All 3D programs have simulation cameras, but the Autocad is no exemption. The camera is very handy because of the simulate with the real camera with the position, target, and lens length. Cameras can be moved and populate 3D model with the camera anytime they activate with a particular camera view. The camera creation. The camera command, or also alias CAM for cam, creates a camera Cameras and prompts for the camera position with the target position displayed with the set option. When we press enter for the key, these options, if needed, can be changed later. Each camera is represented with a model by a wireframe blue object with a camera aspect called the camera glyph. The camera and the target position define the view of the direction camera always have the perspective of the projection. Camera views are always added to the model views group. Alright, camera visualization properties. We can select for the camera beside with the display with the cone with the preview of the window, also with the display of the line with a better control of the camera view with the option available for choosing visual styles. Check for the preview window displayed upon with the camera selection. We can modify with the camera in two ways. Using properties for the command signaling command that allows you for the change with all the object parameters, all suitable for change with the camera properties. We can activate with the command with the palette for cameraman's palette before selecting the camera. We can control the camera's name, the camera's position, camera X, Y, and Z, camera X, camera Y, camera Z. The target position, target X, and target Y, and target Z. The camera's magnification, zoom, the lengths of the lens length in millimeters and field of view. The camera's rotation around with the viewing direction, roll angle, and check with if the camera representation object is black. But the camera can also have visual clipping planes turned on. We can control the distance for the target position to the front, clipping the back plane, clipping planes, front plane, and back plane. Alright, this shows you the camera properties, name XYZ, target XYZ, lens length, millimeter field view, roll angle plot, clipping front plane, back plane, clipping on or off. Using grips, another way to modify with the camera. We can select with the camera cone with the grips of the display. We can activate with the grips too with the chain with the beside with the position with the camera, the target pan with the camera, with the chain with the lens length. Alright, and this shows the camera and its projection. The camera's activation. Activate with the camera view. All cameras are added with the model views can only be used with the restore view available. Such a view command and the second view control view on the toolbar or the ribbon any other way. Another way is to use the camera shortcut menu. Select the set camera view. The best way with the create with the control of the camera, specify with the camera position with the target on the top view, but then you with the properties of the command, give the name with the control of the camera's height, with the target's height, with the instant, with the simulate, with the height of someone's looking in the model, adjusting lens length. Exercise 2 and 2 with the model, you with the exercise 2, 1 with the conceptual visual style, with the going in with the create with applying views with the camera, open file A3D0202WG. Hide with the top object, select it in shortcut menu, choose the isolate and hide objects. View cube, select the front view, select the right view, back view, left view. Each time we select an orthographic view, the view direction rotates displays over the chosen view. Shows front, right, back, left. We want to view the corresponding small rotation top view, which would be relayed with the model with the position of the negative, the X and Y, and the positive X, Z axis. Playing Viewpoint command, specifying the viewpoint at -1, -2, 1.5 for Z, and the view rotates so we have a nice view. Alright, save the view, apply with the view command, alias V, press for the new button, and the new view shot and properties box name, the values -1, -2, 1.5 name. Views names does not accept the comma and semicolons or space. They do not change the remaining parameters. Press OK with the button twice at the end of the command. Select perspective view with the play for the cursor over the view cube with the shortcut with the select with the perspective with the background colors change with the reflect floor, sky, or horizon line orbit the model with the perceive of these elements with the colors with the configure with the options command alias IOP. The display tab and the colors button. Undo the commands until you come back with a parallel view with the plan command. Change with the top view with the UCS unified coordinate system. The world coordinate system with zoom extent options automatically process. Apply camera command alias cam to create with the camera placed in the lower left room of the target, the coordinator with the press enter key at the end of the command. Display with the properties palette with the control +1 alias control +1. Select with the camera preview the window to display with the properties of the palette with the reflect for the camera parameters. Chain with the following parameter with the name to living front room, camera Z to 1.8 and target Z to 1.7. On the camera view preview window, change the visual style with the realistic, with the preview not famous. We need the only in the field view on the properties palette with the change the lens length to 18. Now it's possible that you see almost the entire living room. To activate the camera view with the camera select with the shortcut menu, specify set camera view. 13, press exit key to end selection, save the model with the name A30202, final W drawing. Alright, visual styles. On the previous page, we already have seen some of the visual styles applied. Visual style was introduced in version 2007, the specify the representation of the 3D model of each of the viewport, such as the controlling edges, shading of the wireframe, and the lighting of the material of the background. Applying visual styles, Autocad comes with several visual styles already defined, but that cannot be eliminated and are available for all drawings since version 2011. There have been visual styles available. The previous version only 5. 2D wireframe of the visual style only displays the edge of the only one that doesn't accept the perspective mode of the background wireframe. Visually styles edges but accept the perspective mode and the background. Hidden visual styles only appear with the visible edges, giving a feeling of opaque face if the hidden edges are not visible. Sketchy. This visual style visual edges are displayed if they were sketched by hand. Realistic and visual style of the face of the display with a smooth shade with the other materials applied. Shade with the visual style face of the display with a smooth shade without materials shaded to edges. The visual style with the shade with both visible edges highlighted. Shades of gray. Visual style with the same as shades, but all colors are converted to the grayscale. Conceptual visual style with the face of the display with a smoothing shading, but with a cool and the warm colors given with the artistic feel. X-ray visual style with the object for the display with some of the transparency. And then show the 2D wireframe, hidden, sketchy, realistic, shaded with the edges, shaded with gray, conceptual, and X-ray. Alright, the VS current command with the alias VS also specifies the visual style over the current viewport. Reworks of the command line with the meaning of the quickest, easy way to setting of the predefined visual style. For instance, to set realistic style, we press the sequence VS for the press of the enter key, and then R followed by the enter key. So you set the 2D wireframe with the VS and press VS enter key, and then 2 followed by the enter key. The other possible ways of the extrude with another visual style with other viewpoint control. Viewport Controls, see section 2012, version 2012, Visual Styles panel, View tab on the ribbon of the Visual Styles toolbar of the 3D Orbit command shortcut menus. Alright, creating, modifying visual styles. Normally 10 visual styles come with the Autocad enough, but we may create others. The Visual Styles command, or VSM, is displayed with the palette of the creating with the modifying visual styles. And then they show the Visual Styles Manager, which was the Visual Styles command. Shows face style, lighting, color, monochrome, occupancy, lighting, environmental settings, background, edge shedding, show color, silhouette, edges, show, and width. Below the available visual style of the drawing are the buttons to create with a new visual style with apply the selected visual style export, select a visual style with the tool palette, command palette with the making available for the other drawings, and delete with the selected visual style with the shortcut menu over one of the slots. Also option apply with all the viewports, either the description, copy paste, and modify with the sample size with the reset with the default parameters. Visual style parameters divided into 2. Face setting, the parameter control with the face set with a realistic gooch or none, lighting quality, core color opacity with the material display with lighting parameter control with the light density of shadows, display environmental sim with the parameter control with the background. Edge setting, the parameter control with the edges with the display within how they are displayed with their color with a sketchy effect. Alright, exercise 2-3, but everything exhaust with the description of all of the parameters applied with the particular with the example of beside the specified values we play with around with the option value. Open file A3D0203 drawing. Visual styles mode, realistic with the materials and shadows options turned on. Apply the Visual Styles Manager or alias VSM, the going to create with a new visual style without materials and shadows. That is partially with a transparent yellow. Create new visual style button with the first one, new My Yellow X-Ray name. Click on the second button to apply the U style with the viewport so any of the changes immediately displayed. In face setting options, click on the small button with the opacity and to turn it on. Color specified with the tint. With the tint color, choose yellow color. Do not change value, but the opacity should be 60. Material display should be already turned on. Lighting option, click on small button, high intensity with the specified 40. Shadow display should be off. Inside edge setting, the option also show the as isoline, number of lines 0, color is blue, always on top and yes, and inside occluded. Alright, edges specified show now it shows no. The same intersection edges, silhouette edges with the edge modified with the small buttons allowed with the small line extension, sketchy mode, jitter, and does not modify with these. Click on the third button, export selected visual styles on the tool palette. Visual styles placed on the default tool palettes. The correct way should be first open tool palettes, Control 3, specify with the visual styles palette. Then use the button, save the model known as A30203 final drawing. Alright, walking and flying in 3D model. For complex projects with the interesting with the mechanism that may be useful, walk around inside with the model, either both the keyboard and mouse with the switch of the computer game beside the walking Z coordinate constant. We also can fly a Z coordinate variable. Walking and flying. There are two commands of the walking and flying. They can be found with the walking and fly toolbar, view, walk, fly, menu bar, ribbons, render, animation panel. 3D walk command allows 3D alias 3DW allows you to walk through around with the model while maintaining a Z coordinate. 3D fly commands allows you to fly through the round with the model while changing Z coordinate. These commands only work with the perspective mode. With entering one of these commands with the model with the parallel mode activation perspective mode is requested. Then a small green cross for the target is positioned at the center of the viewpoint with a position locator palette. With the display of the palette, it has two areas. On the top, we have the map scene with the user position, and below there are some viewports available, namely user height and target. So over on the left, you see your position indicator, size, and position target indicator color, target 1. Transparent visual styles, and over here you have your properties, view, walk, fly, step, size, step per second, instruction window, visual auto target, compass, grand, UCS, unified coordinate system icon, on or off. Alright, instruction both of the command include the following: mouse, dragging the mouse, we control where we go. View, rotate with the target allows the center of the viewport. W key or up arrow, pressing W key or up arrow, we go forward. S and key down arrow, we press the S key, down arrow, we go backward. A key and left arrow, pressing the A key, we go to the left. D key, go to right. F key, pressing F key, we change from walk to fly mode. Settings, we walk and fly. Each time we press a movement of the key, we walk or fly a step. If we keep the key pressed, we move at speed. Step by speeds parameters are made easily controllable. The parameter properties per palette with control 1, we can mode, step size, drawing units, step per second, speed, properties, walk, fly. Also possible change visual style without ending the command. Second, possible the walk, fly settings, command and command line. There's one display with a box where we specify the display with the instruction of the balloon. If the position locator will be displayed, walk, fly, step size, drawing in the steps per second. As we modify the step size with the speed during the walking or fly, good tips is to the display with the properties palette before entering the two commands. Well, with the fly setting, walk, fly settings, command these values may be adjusted before entering the commands. Exercise 2-4. In the time we walk inside and outside, open file A3DE0204, drawing, apply properties command, control 1, fly command 3DW, open, walk, and fly, change perspective view, box, chain with the conform of the perspective mode, open. On the properties palette, change length to 28 and step size to 1.5. Maintain steps per second. 2. On the position locator, change the position Z to 1.8. Targets to 1.4. Use for the keyboard arrows. Walk with the house. Drag with the mouse. Key with the main tune with the target align with the opening of the door. Open inside with the drag mouse for the C of the round. Continue walking inside with the house. While using the 3D walk, we change with the visual style of the lengths and length with the other parameters. And it shows the position locator and then also the properties of the walk and fly. Press the escape key to cancel the command into the drawing without saving. Alright, viewports. When starting an Autocad with the drawing or compose with a single viewport, we create the modify with the drawing on 3D scene with the project veins with the maybe view with the divide with the drawing area with the more viewports over that we can simultaneously view different parts of the model. For instance, the bridge drawing where we want to see with the both extreme of the view with the from different angles. We can start with a command with the one viewport and another against with the layout viewport with the viewport model space with never overlap completely with the drawing area. Any of the new model modification will be reflected in all viewports by visualization tools and are independent. We can have viewport with different view zooms, pans, orbits, or graphic views with a different view style with a perspective of the parallel modes. Viewport controls are available in AutoCAD since version 2012. The three top left and menus are the view right. So you have your top wired wireframe 2, and then you have restore viewport configuration, view cube steering wheel, customize viewports, view manager pro parallels perspective, custom visualization yellow, and then visual styles manager. The view controls represent easy process of controlling multiple visualization parameters, already seen in the chapter. The minus control of the viewport control of the viewport configuration activation visualization tool of the view cube tool lesson steering wheel's navigation bar. The top control of the viewport control specified view direction between the save of the orthographic isometric views. Also, the applying view command toggling between the parallel and the perspective mode. The 2D wireframe control of the viewport control specified visual style. Also, the accessing visual styles command on the command line. Working with multiple viewports. The Viewports command or no alias allows you to configure the viewports displayed with the dialog box from the two tabs. New viewports, new name files fields allows you the name of the configuration. Standard viewport includes all possible configuration. Preview the display with the right hand side with apply with the specified with the total configuration. Apply with the drawing area to the current viewport with the setup with the specified with the configuration with the 2D or 3D with the last apply with immediately different view. Selecting each viewport. Previewing area with the possible chain with the view with the visualization styles, name viewport with the tab list for the preview with the name of the viewport configuration. So viewport brings you to the viewports, which have the new viewport name, viewports, new name, standard viewpoint, viewports, and the preview or change view, set up and apply to display and visual size, open, cancel, and help. Since single configuration, restore the single viewport to drawing area. Viewport configuration can also be accessed viewport control, viewports, toolbar, viewports menu, view tab, ribbons, view, module, viewport, panel. Alright, note, as the most of the command with the display with the dialog box with the viewport will also have the command line version -v ports, one of the toggle option which allows for the quick chain with a single view of the multi-viewports. Exercise 2.5 with the we're going to divide with the area with a different view with the two with the view parent commands open to the A3.205 drawing area with the 4 viewports apply with the viewport command choose with the 4 equal configuration unset up option choose 3D and the preview area with select the view right with the chain with the visual with the 2D wireframe apply with a realistic visual style type at the top and sketchy visual style to the front style with the dialog box view with the southeast isometric chain with the view with the current name the configuration of my viewports and click on OK button. Adjust the zoom of the zoom and pan in each viewport. Apply dash viewports command. Select with the toggle option. You can come back to single viewport with the drawing without saving. Alright, summary. In this chapter, we analyze the all-important aspect of the command with the correct with the visualization 3D models. We start with the zoom and the panning and orbiting. We solve with the predefined same views, creation of the parameters of the 3 parameters, the explore with the perspective mode in order to get more realistic visualization of the visual style with allowing with the viewing of the model with the wireframe shaded with the shade with the material with the realistic other modes. We learn how to walk and fly through the models. We see how to divide with the drawing area with the same view. Several viewports. New chapter will learn how to create coordinate systems, the defining of the different XY working planes. Chapter 3, Coordinate Systems.